Hello, I'm Gus Downing, publisher and editor of the D&D Daily. And today, here with us is Lohra Miller, CEO of Turning Point Justice, and Barbara Staib, Director of Communications, National Association for Shoplifting Prevention. Turning Point Justice, or TPJ, is a rapidly growing cloud technology company that provides collaborative solutions to retail theft that cultivate positive change through restorative justice. Designed by criminal justice professionals to ensure integrity and compliance from apprehension to incident resolution, Turning Point Justice Solutions align the interest of retailers, law enforcement, and the justice system to combat shoplifting. TPJ solutions ensure consistent restitution and legal compliance for retailers and provide first-time shoplifters with education that enables offenders to avoid a criminal record and remain positive members of their community. With its cloud justice platform and crime accountability program, restorative justice solutions offered in partnership with the National Association for Shoplifting Prevention, Turning Point Justice saves time and budget for retailers and law enforcement alike. There are no costs to retailers for participating in Turning Point Justice Solutions. Shoplifters who choose to participate in TPJ Restorative Justice Solutions cover the cost for retailers and agree to pay the retailer restitution, calculated in accordance with each unique incident. When an individual is caught shoplifting, loss prevention agents use the cloud justice platform provided for free by Turning Point Justice to interview the offender, gather evidence, and determine program eligibility. If the offender qualifies for the Crime Accountability Program, or CAP, as a first-time petty shoplifter, the Cloud Justice Platform calculates restitution, which covers the cost of the item, any damages to the retailer's loss prevention technologies, as well as the retailer's time spent apprehending and processing the shoplifter. In addition, because the Cloud Justice Platform has a direct link to the NRMA criminal record database, retailers and the justice system professionals are finally able to identify and stop serial shoplifters in their communities. First-time shoplifters who opt into the court alternative program agree to pay the calculated restitution amount to the retailer, ensuring more consistent restitution for the offense at a much lower cost to the retailer, justice system, and the local community. The shoplifter receives the opportunity to learn about the harm shoplifting causes, make amends for their mistakes, and maintain a clean criminal record at no cost, equal or less than those typically incurred through the traditional court system. When shoplifters are ineligible for participation in TPJ solutions or fail to complete the program, the Cloud Justice Platform easily integrates into current loss prevention providers such as civil demand services, ensuring that retailers are able to use the widest range of recovery solutions available to them. Turning Point Justice Solutions also integrate with existing incident management providers, eliminating duplication reporting efforts. And finally, the Cloud Justice Platform provides non-emergency numbers to contact police, both locally and departments for support on repeat shoplifters and organized retail crime. With the turnkey Cloud Justice Platforms provided at no cost to the retail locations, TPJ simplifies compliance with local and state laws. And if you're interested in learning more, Turning Point Justice conducts a no-obligation demonstration of the Cloud Justice Platform for retailers. And with that, I'd like to thank both Lohra and Barbara for being here today and supporting this event.
Thank you, Gus.
You know, Lohra, can you give us some history about the evolution and development of this rather new and historical process?
Absolutely. I spent 25 years as a prosecutor. I actually ended my tenure as a prosecutor as the elected district attorney in Salt Lake County, Utah. And during that time, I was very heavily involved in criminal justice reform, looking at ways that we could hold offenders accountable in a manner that doesn't cost the taxpayers so much money. More looking at the procedures of how things operate. And we realized that there has to be a better way. Our criminal justice system has been very ineffective at changing behaviors. And so as we started looking at this, I realized that perhaps perhaps doing it from the inside isn't the answer. The government isn't always going to be the answer. We need to look at alternative solutions, and the technology solution that we have come up with at Turning Point Justice really incorporates the things that we were trying to implement and make the process a better process, not just for the criminal justice, but for the victims of crime, the retailers, for our communities, it's a lesser cost, and also then for the offenders, giving them an opportunity to change their lives without the stigma of a criminal record, and then going on to become productive citizens.
You know, this is, how has the retailer's reception been? I mean, this is rather a bold change.
It is.
From the old school approach of prosecuting individuals to send a message to the community and punish that person.
Yeah.
So how has the reception been?
It's been really interesting. It is kind of like trying to turn a battleship. You're changing the dynamics of how things operate. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that really believe the answer is putting more money into jails, into more police, making the prosecutors and police do their job. And it's been really interesting to watch how the industry starts to realize how this changes things, why it's an improvement, and then to see them embrace the concept and start adopting the program. Right now, I have to tell you that the industry's reception, just like from law enforcement, has been incredibly positive.
So for the social good.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone sees it's a win. It's a win-win-win. The retailer wins, the local communities win, the offenders have the opportunity to win if they take advantage of it. And it's one of those rare solutions that really benefits everyone.
So can you walk us through the process
Sure.
of when a shoplifter is apprehended and kind of walk me through,
Absolutely.
us through, from the time that they enter that office to the time they leave that store and that premises? What happens?
It really starts before they enter the office, because when we set up a new retailer, what happens is we get the retailer's input on how they would like to handle cases. Is there a minimum age they want to offer, or a maximum age, a minimum amount where they feel like the offender would be eligible for the program, or is there a maximum amount? And then we also set up the state laws and the local jurisdictions laws. And when an offender is stopped, the loss prevention agent then uses our technology to collect information about the offense. We verify the identity of the offender. We then gather all of the information that we need to have a complete police report. From a prosecutor's perspective, we don't really use police. It's the loss prevention agent who is the person we need to testify. And if we could just use them to gather that complete report, we have a quasi-police report that's a prosecutable case. And at that point, as we have done that, we have run all of these rules that the retailer laid out and the local jurisdiction laid out. And if that offender meets the criteria for both the retailer and the local jurisdiction, they're offered the opportunity to participate in the program. If they accept the opportunity, that's great. They leave with an agreement that they will go and register and sign up and take the program. If they decline it, or if they don't qualify and the police respond, we now have this fantastic report that the police can have on these other cases where they prosecute. And then at that point, the offender is turned over to the police. If they agree to take the program, they're given a certain amount of time to register. If they do, that's fantastic. In fact, we get 97% of the people who register actually completing the program. If they don't register, that's where our relationship with local jurisdictions comes in hand, because what we do at Turning Point is we work with the local retailer to actually make sure those cases get filed for prosecution. So that kind of takes them through the entire process.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Barbara, your organization, the National Association of Shoplifting Prevention, is a big part of this process.
Yes.
And obviously plays a huge role in the Criminal Accountability Program, or as you refer to, CAP. Can you give our viewers a feel for your educational and counseling programs and the impact they've had on the people out there, and more specifically, how that integrates into this program?
Absolutely. The National Association for Shoplifting Prevention has been providing education programs in the court systems since 1989. The programs are offered as a condition of diversion, sentence, or probation. And our programs are always offender paid. And that's all part of the offender taking responsibility for their actions. It's part of the accountability for what they've done. The problem with that situation is that there's too much attrition in the court system. And we all know that punishment has to be proportional to the crime. It also has to be consistent and certain. And unfortunately, again, in the court system, because of a variety of reasons, not the least of which is shrinking budgets. Punishment is not always consistent or certain. Mm-hmm. So this opportunity to partner with TPJ lets our organization, as a nonprofit whose mission is to reduce the number of people who shoplift in this nation, bring the best of what happens in the court and the education programs pre-charge, and not rely on the court system to get them into an education program.
Proactive as opposed to reactive.
Absolutely. So we could lose them at the police level, the prosecutor level, the court level, or the probation level. Here, we're getting them at the very first touch point in the shoplifter process. So the minute they are apprehended, this gives retailers an opportunity and a viable way to process cases, to offer the accountability program, follow up on the accountability program, collect the restitution, as they are the victim of crime, which the public sometimes forgets, and then offer these people an opportunity to make a mistake, because we all have lapses in judgment, and I'm not being a bleeding heart. Everyone in the industry knows I get accused of that by my colleague here. The fact is, people change their behavior when there's something in it for them. Nobody changes anything unless they know, I'm going to benefit, my life will be better when I change my behavior. And that's what our organization does. We don't wag our finger, we don't tell them shoplifting's wrong. They knew that before they shoplifted. What they need to know now is why they don't ever want to shoplift again.
You know, Lohra, can you talk a little bit about the Cloud Justice Platform? I mean, the consistency it delivers. I mean, really this is the backbone of your process, excuse me.
Absolutely.
And the key to the program.
Yep. You know, the great thing about this, and this, coming from a legal background, this also makes a big difference, because one of the problems that we see, even amongst one retailer that has chain or stores across the nation, is you're going to have a variance in how people perceive the policies to be. And the best thing about Turning Point is that we take your policies, your procedures, the way that you want to have cases handled, and it's put into our system. And because that agent has taken step-by-step question and answer through the system, our system actually guides the agent through what needs to happen for each individual case, and it's applying the individual retailer's policies and procedures. And so what you get not only is that consistent report, that very quality report, but you get a uniformity in how cases are handled that is set at the corporate level, which improves vastly the liability issues that a lot of retailers face and agents that don't always follow the procedures the way that they're supposed to. So one of the added advantages to the whole program is this consistency in handling of these cases.
And it's also individualized for the specific retailer.
Absolutely. Individualized. We put their policies into practice, exactly.
So what you're talking about is taking the first-time shoplifters out of the legal system, adding a proven, consistent educational component to the shoplifters in America, supported by intelligent hardware and software, and that delivers consistency nationwide. So this is the evolution of civil demand, so to speak. So what's the ultimate cost to the shoplifter, and how much different is that from the cost of the traditional civil demand market?
Right. So I'll address the first question. It is an evolution, but it's not a replacement. It's not meant to be a replacement for this current civil demand programs. It is really a very good complement. It's when the retailer combines this new approach with a healthy civil demand program that they will reap the best benefit, because then you have the opportunity to collect the restitution from those who can benefit from the education. You've given them that benefit. They will pay that restitution as part of getting that benefit. And then the other people, we don't just say, oh, they didn't pay it here and forget about it. They still go through the civil demand process as they do the prosecution process. So it's making it whole, which is a great program.
Yeah, I saw that mentioned in your website as well. Do you see any legal challenges coming? I mean, similar to any that civil demand is facing now in a few cases?
You know, we have taken a lot of effort in putting this program together to look at some of the things that have happened in the past, both in similar programs, check cashing programs and others, and also in the civil demand. And we have tried in this technology and through the partnership with NASP to avoid a lot of the pitfalls that we've seen through that. And in reality, I think that we live in the United States and people are going to see that's just unfortunately the way it is. But the technology, the program, the partnership with the National Association for Shoplifting Prevention really has been designed to stand up to those challenges. And we believe that even if it's challenged, that ultimately the solution that we provide and the manner that we provide it is going to withstand any type of legal challenge. Not a problem.
Certainly sounds it.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you both for being here today and
Thank you
supporting
again.
the event.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Well, that's it for this episode, folks. We want to thank you for watching. And until next time, let's keep them all safe out there.